Hello, everybody. So as some of you guys know, this past August, me and my family were involved in a tragic accident. What happened was we were going down to the water to check out, how the storm had affected the water, and we were going down Warehouse Road, and on our way back, a tree fell on top of our vehicle. We didn't see it coming at all. It just fell right on top, and I was in the middle seat, and my mom and my dad were in the driver's seats, and when the tree fell on us, it completely crushed me, and I was bent in the middle seat, completely folded in half. It fractured my skull. I had 2 hematomas, a major blood clot in my brain, and I was stopped breathing. And when my mom called my name and I didn't respond, she went back and she reached for my wrist, and there was no pulse. So she, a little frantically, she reached for my neck too, and there was no pulse. I was laying there just limp. And just think of that image of me just folded over in my lap and just not moving, completely limp, not at all moving, no signs of life. And my parents immediately, they just said, no, she's not gone. Devil, you're not taking her. And that right there, that was the major point, the major change, and what I believe that's the major change of where what could have been a tragic, controlling life disaster into a miracle. Because they placed their faith in God alone. When the ambulance and the rescue squad got there and got me out, they sent me to the hospital, but Riverside, we couldn't do the brain surgery that I needed. And so they had to, they would normally put me in a helicopter, but because of the storm that was still going on, we couldn't fly it. So they had to rush me in an ambulance down to MCV so I could get my emergency brain surgery. And so once we got there, my parents, first thing they asked was, is your daughter an organ donor? And that question is just wow, that was only the beginning of the doubt from the doctors that came. My parents, they said, yes, she is, and let God guide your hands, and it's all in God's control. Do what you have to do. And, God promises us, you lay hands on the sick, and they will recover. And we believe that without a doubt. And all the doctors, they said, they predicted that I'd have major brain surgery, I wouldn't remember anything, and I'd have to regain all my mobility, that I'd have to completely restart. But God promises, you lay hands on the sick and they will recover. That doesn't just mean I'll be okay. It means I will recover fully as if it never happened. And to this day, I'm proud to say that I'm completely back to normal. I had no brain damage, and I had over 6 minutes I didn't breathe for over 6 minutes. That alone is enough to give you brain damage, not beside the trauma and everything. And they told me I wouldn't get my bone put back in for 6 months. I had it in about 2 weeks later, and I was at school 8 days later after my surgery, back at school, and I ran that day. They told me it would be 6 months until I ran. But it was only September 30th when I ran. And the main thing here is faith, because God, He is not limited by anything other than our faith, because He wants to do so much for us. We just have to believe. That is the tools that He works through, is our belief and our power, because every promise He has is true. And it's not a pick and choose kind of thing. It's all or nothing. You have to believe in everything without a doubt. And so my parents, that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what I did. And it didn't just stop in the hospital. It's continued through this day. And that is why I'm completely and fully recovered. And, God can do this for you too. You just got to believe. And that's the one thing everybody needs. You need the faith, because God can do wonderful things, and He wants to. You just got to put your faith in Him and believe that everything He says is true. All His promises are true. And God loves us, and He just wants to bless us.